So this kind of communication occurs by intercellular junctions. So these intercellular junctions are functionally classified as occluding junctions, anchoring junctions and communicating junctions. See, as the term indicates, occluding junctions, they are occluding something, okay. Anchoring junctions, anchoring means holding. So these junctions are holding the cells, right, either together or onto a matrix. And then they are communicating junctions. Now these communicating junctions we have classified as third mode of communication, right. So in this particular mode of communication, that is interaction of surface molecules, we will mainly dealing with occluding junctions and anchoring junctions. So this modality of communication by interaction between surface molecules is also known as juxtacrine signaling, and it is basically occurring by either cell-cell interaction of surface molecules or cell extracellular matrix signaling. So there is interaction between the cell and extracellular matrix. Example is notch mediated signaling, and then one other very good example is activation of the platelets, where two platelets interact with each other and platelets also interact with the extracellular matrix. So there is a platelet adhesion, platelet activation, that is interaction between the surface molecules. So in brief, let us see what are these surface molecules. See, first is occluding junctions, which are the tight junctions. So they are present near the apex of the cell, right. So this diagram is showing the cell, and this top is the apical portion of the cell. Here is the lumen, and this entire other part of the membrane forms the basolateral part of the membrane. So you see, this tight junction or occluding junction is present at the apical part, separating the apical membrane from the basolateral membrane. So as the name suggests, basically it prevents the transfer of substances in between the cells. So no substance can cross, or very less substances, if the tight junction is little less tight, we can say very less substances can cross in between the cells. Okay. Then there are other what we known as anchoring junctions, that is here it is shown as zonula adherens and desmosomes, and focal adhesions and hemidesmosomes. So you can see that we have cell-cell junctions, that is making contact between the cells. So there is zonula adherens and desmosomes. Then there are cell extracellular matrix signaling junctions, here shown here, that is focal adhesions and hemidesmosomes. Now one thing you should remember, that these junctions basically consist of certain proteins, right, and there is interaction of these proteins with the filaments inside the cell. So there are cytoskeletal elements inside the cell, right. Simple way to remember is these AA, right, zona adherens and focal adhesion. So A is here, A is here. So these interact with the actin filaments present in the cell. On the other hand, desmosome and hemidesmosomes, right, DD, desmosomes and hemidesmosomes interact with the intermediate filaments in the cell. Okay, so that is the interaction by second modality, by interaction between surface molecules. So now let us see the third mode of intercellular communication, that is communicating junctions between cells. So we have called them as gap junctions, right? So what are these gap junctions? So here you see we have shown two cells. So this is one cell and this is the cell membrane of that cell, and this is other cell and this is the cell membrane, and this is the gap junction. So it is formed by a unit in each of the cell membrane, and when those units combine together, it forms like a channel connecting the two cells. So each unit you see, it consists of 6 subunits, and each subunit is known as connexins. So 6 connexins combine together to form one connexon or a hemichannel. So this connexin is nothing but a protein subunit which is present in the membrane, and it has connecting extracellular loops and intracellular loops. So these extracellular loops of the connexins combine with the extracellular loops present in the connexins on the other hemichannel, right? And that is how they interact with each other and form a gap junction. One example of gap junction is present in cardiac muscle. So you know that cardiac muscle acts as a syncytium, that is acts as one unit. This is because the changes of ions which occur in one cell, the ions can travel through the gap junctions and reach to the other cell. So the similar changes occur in the other cardiac muscle cell also, right? So that is how the cardiac muscle cell acts as a syncytium. So here this just cross section showing various connexins, and this is the central pore. When 6 subunits combine together, there is a central pore formed, and that pore interacts with the pore on the other side, forming a channel. So fundamentally we have seen 3 modes of intercellular communication: release of chemical substances, which is further divided into 4 types, then interaction of surface molecules on the cells, which is then of 3 types, that is the occluding junctions, anchoring junctions and communicating junctions. And communicating junctions we have brought it here because we have called this as juxtacrine signaling, and then there are communicating junctions between cells. So that's all for intercellular communications, various modes with their examples. Thank you and have a nice day.